No, you not can do. Because you not can do 1 minute.
So I think of the fight, getting dropped once again, it's not the end of the world. People get dropped in fights, still win them. Getting dropped in sparring is what it is. I mean,
Duke McKenzie just went after Jake Paul after footage surfaced of Paul getting knocked out in sparring, and instantly, the clip exploded online. Before the fight even begins, it's already gone viral. Social media is having a field day, memes everywhere, fans trolling Paul non-stop. Sparring is supposed to be practice, but now it's turned into a global highlight reel of humiliation. Even before the first bell, Jake Paul is under intense scrutiny. Boxing is brutal, but the internet is absolutely savage. Duke McKenzie isn't holding back. He calls Jake Paul a soft touch and exposes what he says is a promoter's strategy to secure easy wins. The sparring knockout has already caused chaos online, with fans laughing, arguing, and roasting Paul relentlessly. Duke's blunt criticism sets the tone. Paul's vulnerability is out in the open now, impossible to deny or hide.
He's a soft touch. He's waiting to get knocked out. So the promoter says to himself, right, he scratches his head and says, you know what, I need to get my fighter a couple of easy ones just to get his confidence back, so he can bring him back to the fore, bring him back to everybody's imagination. Everybody sees him knocking somebody out, looking good doing it. So this guy's made for Anthony Joshua. It'll be another Ngannou early night for Joshua, where he gets to the...
Eddie Hearn gives Paul credit for his talent, but is honest about the sparring session. It didn't look competitive. His comments have turned the spotlight even brighter on Duke's knockout clip, and fans are now analyzing every frame. Paul's struggles in the gym are under a microscope, and the pressure is piling up long before fight night.
So you have to give him credit, and I'm a big fan. I don't want to. When I watched it back, I was like, I saw a few people. Oh, Eddie's a hater. I'm not a hater. I think he's the goods, but I don't think that was competitive last.
Derek Chisora exposes Paul before he's even stepped into a real fight. That sparring knockout isn't just embarrassing; it's a clear warning about Paul's readiness for elite opponents. His movement, defense, and resilience were tested and came up short. Against someone like Anthony Joshua, those weaknesses could be exposed in devastating fashion.
Okay, I look at everybody he's got in his sparring camp. I personally don't believe that you can actually... The sparring partners he's got right now, they're pushing him to be menace.
Johnny Nelson points out a major concern: Paul's legs are already gone. The sparring knockout makes it obvious he struggles to maintain stamina and defend himself when pressured. Against a professional like Anthony Joshua, those flaws could be brutally punished. Before the fight even starts, Paul looks underprepared and dangerously outmatched.
And I said, look, if you're to believe that he had the best training camp, his legs have gone. And if I've got it wrong, his legs...
Shannon Briggs tries to offer perspective, saying slips happen in training, but even he admits Paul's sparring knockout shines a spotlight on his vulnerability. These aren't small mistakes. His balance, defense, and composure are all in question. The footage suggests that stepping into the ring with a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua could end disastrously for Paul, and very quickly.
I'm hearing things that he's been dropped in the ring, in the gym and stuff like that, but that's okay too, because I took a couple spills, little slips in the ring, in the gym. That's okay, but we're going to see. This is going to be a good...
Derek Kaikora lays it out bluntly. Paul simply doesn't have the firepower to hurt Joshua. The sparring knockout is a preview of the trouble ahead. This isn't exaggeration. Paul's defensive issues and lack of experience turn this matchup into something close to one-sided. The hype fades the moment reality sets in.
What happened to be exciting?
Does he have the power to knock out Joshua?
Nah, he hasn't got the power to knock out Joshua.
How does that fight end?
Jake Paul going into an ambulance, bro.
Simon Jordan calls it what it is: absurd. The sparring knockout already paints a grim picture. Facing a real heavyweight champion like Joshua is a massive leap, and Paul's weaknesses in conditioning, power, and defense are obvious. On paper, it's a mismatch. The hype is collapsing under scrutiny before the opening bell even rings.
Financial wealth there, but Jake Paul going into a fight with Anthony Joshua, to me, is absurd. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a legitimate two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He may have got destroyed by Daniel Dubois, but notwithstanding, there's nothing physically wrong with Anthony Joshua that he can't execute. Mentally, he might be in a little bit of a difficult position.
Duke McKenzie cuts through everything. Sure, Paul might see this as an easy payday, but reality says something else entirely. The sparring knockout exposed cracks in his defense, timing, and durability. Fighting Anthony Joshua isn't just risky, it could be catastrophic. McKenzie stresses that this isn't about viral moments or social media antics. It's about survival. Joshua's experience and punching power could turn this so-called easy fight into a nightmare instantly. And while Paul might cash in, his credibility as a real contender is basically non-existent. The footage makes one thing clear: the skill gap is massive and unforgiving.
His fight of his career, if he wants to get 100 million and not even break sweat, you know, you take the fight. Is it going to enhance his stock as the world's #1 contender? Not at all, because nobody's going to take Jake Paul seriously. But on the other hand, should I don't even want to play devil's advocate. What if Joshua hurts this guy, seriously hurts this guy, and puts this guy...
Tommy Fury doesn't sugarcoat anything. The sparring knockout already exposed Paul's biggest weaknesses, and against someone like Anthony Joshua, those flaws would be ruthlessly exploited. Fury makes it clear, Paul's timing, experience, and defense aren't even close to Joshua's level. Even with major advantages given to Paul, Joshua could dismantle him quickly. This isn't speculation. The sparring footage acts like a pre-fight documentary showing Paul's inability to handle real pressure. Fury's brutally honest take frames the matchup as a one-sided mismatch. Paul's bravado and hype can't protect him from elite power and experience. The warning is loud and clear: this fight could end shockingly fast.
But if I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute.
Eddie Hearn delivers a professional warning that cuts through the noise surrounding Jake Paul's sparring knockout. Stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua is a massive jump from online hype and influencer boxing into the world of elite heavyweight combat. Hearn stresses the lethal mix of Joshua's power, precision, and experience, and Paul's sparring KO is a glaring preview of what could happen. This isn't just entertainment. It's a serious risk. The responsibility now falls on Paul, who is facing a fighter capable of ending a bout in mere moments. The sparring footage exposes clear gaps in Paul's technique, defense, and ring IQ. Hearn's message is unmistakable: Jake Paul's confidence and persona won't protect him from the brutal reality of the heavyweight division.
Like that. But I said to Jake Paul, you ain't in a box, mate, and this ain't David Blaine. I said, so just be careful, because AJ will take your head clean off your shoulders, and it's you know, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And you take on that responsibility, and we all have to. So we got to think about that. But this is Anthony fighting a top 50 cruiserweight in the world. It's not something that we would normally do.
Yeah.
But we also...
Logan Paul's reaction reveals the harsh truth his brother is facing. Watching Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou showed him firsthand the destructive power Jake will have to deal with, and Jake's own sparring KO proves he can't handle elite punches. Logan emphasizes that Jake's bravado, personality, and online fame mean absolutely nothing against a seasoned heavyweight champion. The sparring footage exposed flaws in Jake's timing, defense, and resilience, making it clear how dangerous this matchup is. Logan's blunt assessment frames this fight not as entertainment, but as a collision between raw, elite-level experience and hype. One clean shot from Joshua could shatter Paul's credibility instantly. Jake enters this fight dangerously exposed before the ring walk even begins.
The Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
Eric Chisora doesn't sugarcoat a thing. He goes straight to the uncomfortable truth about Jake Paul's limitations the sparring KO has already highlighted. Chisora stresses that against a champion like Joshua, there is zero room for mistakes. If the fight goes past a few rounds, he believes it will become a spectacle of embarrassment rather than competition. Joshua's experience, power, and tactical intelligence make an extended fight almost impossible for Paul. Chisora compares this scenario to Joshua's previous dominant knockouts, making it clear Paul cannot survive sustained pressure. This isn't about hype or theatrics, it's about real consequences. Fans who watched the sparring footage already know the level of danger. Chisora's warning paints a brutally honest picture of a matchup that could turn into a one-sided beating and a humiliating reality check.
So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony, I said, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you, because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are going to be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round.
Frank Warren breaks it down from a promoter's and professional's viewpoint, highlighting just how dangerous this fight really is. He acknowledges that Jake Paul is stepping into a situation far beyond his proven ability, especially considering the sparring KO that already embarrassed him under controlled conditions. Yes, Jake is a licensed boxer, but Warren makes it clear, a license doesn't mean he's prepared for someone of Anthony Joshua's caliber. This isn't about selling hype or putting on a show. It's about an inexperienced fighter facing a seasoned champion with devastating power and tactical skill. Confidence matters, but the sparring footage exposed major holes in Jake's technique, defense, and mental composure. Warren warns that underestimating Joshua is dangerous. This fight could become career-defining in the worst possible way. It's not an exhibition, it's a proving ground where every mistake can be brutally punished.
It's a dangerous fight. Of course, it's it's a dangerous fight, but I'm not here to be there selling their show. I've got no interest in the fighters from that perspective. I just think that he is a licensed boxer. He's trained. He knows what he's getting involved with. He's not an idiot, and he knows what he's going to be up against. But he must believe in himself.
Duke McKenzie gives another harsh but truthful analysis. The sparring KO already revealed everything. Paul's defense, timing, and durability are nowhere near the level required to face a fighter like Anthony Joshua. McKenzie emphasizes that Joshua's power and experience multiply the danger drastically. Jake has never faced top-tier heavyweights, and stepping into the ring with a world-class champion without that foundation is reckless. He stresses a core truth: bravado and social media fame mean nothing in a real heavyweight fight. Paul hasn't earned credibility at the elite level, leaving him extremely vulnerable. McKenzie's breakdown paints a vivid picture of risk, power disparity, and why this matchup is far from an easy payday. One mistake could have devastating consequences. This is reality, not a spectacle.
I don't believe to fight Anthony Joshua. It's not like he's beaten, 4 or 5, top line heavyweights, other heavyweights. I don't believe he's boxed any heavyweights.
The sparring KO exposed Jake Paul long before he even got near the ring with Anthony Joshua. This isn't hype, it's a warning. Paul's timing, defense, and ring IQ were tested in training, and he failed to hold up, even in a controlled environment. Facing a seasoned, powerful, technically sharp heavyweight like Joshua could turn a show fight into a career-derailing disaster. Every analyst, promoter, and former champion has pointed out the dangerous mismatch, making it clear that Jake's persona can't protect him. Fans are buzzing about the sparring footage, some shocked, others turning it into memes, but the message is the same. This fight isn't entertainment. It's a real test of skill, toughness, and survival. If you want more inside scoops, sparring breakdowns, and brutally honest fight analysis, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a knockout update.